Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. We'll be talking about transit Neptune conjunct one's natal sun. Now, when you have transits that involve Neptune, it can be about dissipation, dissolving, idealism, compassion, inspiration, deception. And when you're talking about transit Neptune conjoining one's natal sun, well, this may manifest in could be dissipation, dissolving, idealism, inspiration, deception. It could be in one's life, for example, it could be maybe about the dissolving or dissipation of the life that one may be trying to live. Say if it's in the zodiac sign Cancer, that'd be one that's very introverted, dominated by the home life. It could also be a lot of idealism in what you can do as far as your energy level goes and vitality. The sun can be connected with energy and vitality. It's just important not to overestimate what you're able to do at this time, physically, because Neptune can be could be about self-deception. And say if you have it in Sagittarius, that transit, it can be something sports or related or something athletic that you think you can do, and you just might wind up injuring yourself or self by overestimating what you can do physically. Now, the sun is also connected with the biological father. Now, in some isolated cases, it may manifest about Neptune being connected with dissolving dissipation. It could be like a weakening of the father, or he might just, it could be the evaporation of the father out of life. And sometimes, I don't think it would exclude death in some isolated cases, or it could just mean that the connection is dissipating. Another thing that it could also be expressing compassion and self-sacrificing energy toward the father, or the biological father may be expressing that toward you, perhaps in some cases. Now, another thing about the sun is connected with our focus, our attention, and the thing about this is Neptune can be associated with people that are less fortunate than yourself, such as the impoverished, the oppressed, the homeless. It could be people um, that may be on drugs or alcohol, and you might have more of a focus on these people, more so than usual at this time, where these people might be maybe stopping your focus to some degree, or doing something as far as that goes. But a lot of cases, it could be that this could be a primary focus of yours at this time, perhaps to help them out, and could also be about shining. The sun could be about shining, and could be manifest in some cases in shining in Neptune things, whether it could be the metaphysical, which could be astrology, photography, chemistry, filmography, as some Neptune examples. And it could be a time too where, you look at this as well. The fact that Neptune is very idealistic. The sun can be connected with the physical body. Yes, the ascendant is what dominates the appearance and physical body, but the sun can play a role to some degree. And just be careful that you're not being over idealizing your physical body at this time and thinking everything's okay, when there could be some health related issues that might need to be addressed that you're just overlooking. See, when Neptune transits can manifest in overlooking the details, glossing over the details, just trying to, they maybe see things as what you want them to be as opposed to what they actually are. Now, the sun can also be connected with children, and it might be a time where children might be a little bit more deceptive or duplicitous than usual, or they might simply be more nebulous and unclear. And it's something where you might have a harder time gauging them at this time and really being able to see, what they're actually about. But it could also manifest in expressing compassion and altruism toward them as well. And you might feel at this time that your drive and motivation maybe deteriorating or dissolving at this time more so than usual. Remember, Neptune can be about lethargy and its relaxation. It might be more where you feel more like fantasizing, being more lethargic as opposed to taking action on issues. Um, your life may be dominated more by sleep at this time, more so than usual as well. And remember that the sun is also connected with domination. So it might be a time you have to be careful, because if you're somebody that has certain proclivities toward drugs or alcohol, that it can dominate at this time in some cases. If you're somebody that isn't, you have something in your favor then. But it could also be where people that are less fortunate, like I was stating before, like the impoverished, the oppressed, the homeless, may be dominating your time more so than usual. Or maybe people that are in Neptune fields, such as the metaphysical, which includes astrology, photographers, chemists, people in filmography, as some examples, maybe to dominate your existence more so than usual at this time. Now, anatomically speaking, the sun is connected with the heart, the upper back, the spine, and in the left or the right eye, depending on gender. So in some cases, this may be expressed in weakness in this area and in one or more of these areas at this time. I mean, it could give blurry vision in some cases. Neptune has a tendency to blur, makes things more obscure than they usually are. It could also be a time too where the sun could be about creative energy. So it might be where you might be more interested in like abstract art as an example, or doing something with photography or the metaphysical that's very creative at this time, or poetry. And another thing too is that remember that the sun can be connected with our basic character as well. You might be feeling that your character is weaker than usual at this time, more so than usual. You might be more passive than you had been previously. And at the same time, remember that the sun is also connected with the spirit. You might feel that something's happening where your spirit is like, it feels like it's fading or dissolving at this time. Uh, Now, another way this could manifest as well, this could be about confusion and ambivalence over one's life direction at this time. Say if this is an Aquarius as an example, there might be some confusion over whether to maybe dedicate your life to astrology or altruism or computers. It might be confusion over an Aquarius type of field. Um, and also too, there might be more about Neptune related focus and attention at this time. It could be something like I was stating before in some Neptune examples, like poetry or dancing or photography. It could be doing work by the sea, working on a dock, or being a fisherman. The metaphysical, which includes astrology, as some examples. You might have a little more difficulty in concentrating more so than usual at this time. Neptune has a tendency to divert and cause distractions. So anyway, I mean, say if this is in Scorpio as an example, there might be greater difficulty in concentrating on investigation. Um, it could be digging deep research, uh, matters with shared resources, insurance, taxes as some examples. If it's in Virgo in the 8th house as another example, maybe there's difficulty in concentrating on analytical astrology or psychology. Now, in isolated cases, I mean, keep in mind Neptune can be connected with disappearances. May manifest in the disappearance of a sun-related person. It could be an authority figure, a superior, even a biological father in some examples. Um, it could be a child in some cases. I mean, say if it's in Aries, it might be an Aries sun, moon, or ascendant, child or biological father, or simply one that embodies Aries characteristics. Now, another thing too is that this could also be about Neptune related subjects may be more expressed expressed creatively. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that. I'm back, but anyway, it could be more, something with maybe doing some kind of abstract art. It could be something through filmography that might be very creative, or something with dancing or poetry even. Um, this could be another thing too, where looking at this transit, Neptune can be about inspiration. The sun can be connected with our motivation and drive. So this may be expressing a very motivational period for you. And again, is that you have to be careful this time, because Neptune, though it's idealistic, can also be unrealistic. And you want to set your goals high, but if you set them too high, you may not be able to attain it, and you could be very gravely disappointed and dejected as a result of that. Now, another thing too, in remote cases, this could manifest in Neptune physical debilitations. It could be some issues with the feet, the toes. It may be something with the immune or lymphatic system, some disease. Um, let's say if this falls in the zodiac sign Cancer as an example, it could be a chest infection that may be attributed to a weakened immune system. In some cases too, this could be expressed in lethargy, maybe impacting your ability to take action at this time. And say if this falls in the zodiac sign Aries, it might be some issue with confrontation, or maybe trying to do something associated with welding or pioneering idea. As another example, or arson investigation. Those are some things that can be connected with Aries. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.